access to power, wealth, and education than men.
What, then how come 3 in every 4 homeless is a man? What about child support and alimony in divorce court? What about the right to make up rape or any accusations? And don't tell me I'm just one who just wording on assumption. I have actual cases that show that you're the one going on assumption. Just saying it's rare because women wouldn't do this. That's assumption. You're not going things case by case. Or educate, and how come college campus is more female dominated and school is more suited for girls? Stop lying. But here's some examples against Turd Fling Monkey though.
But one tiny island is leading the world in bridging these gaps. Iceland is pioneering ways to get more mothers back to work,
Fair divorce laws?
down gender stereotypes, and to close the pay gap.
In child support?
Could Iceland inspire the world to solve one of its greatest problems? Equality is absolutely the key to everything. Iceland has topped gender equality rankings for nearly a decade. One of the secrets to their success? Start early.
One in charge of abstinence only.
In the capital, Reykjavik, focuses on challenging extreme gender stereotypes before they take root in boys and girls.
Abstinence have the same objectives.
Always be strong, always decisive, always taking charge. They will anger, bullying, fighting, breaking rules.
Not all the time.
The words as well. If you're always helpful, caring, thinking about others, always as a friend for acceptance, you will have forgotten about yourself. We need to get away from the extreme qualities.
Isn't usually boys expected to die for her and give up their seats and think of themselves less?
Need to get more in the middle, all of us. It's a mission that's led to the creation of 17 schools across this tiny country, all focused on developing a healthy balance of characteristics in both sexes.
So you won't need to have surgeries.
Separated to allow girls to nurture traits traditionally viewed as masculine, like being bold, independent, and taking risks. And boys are given time to learn traits traditionally viewed as feminine, like being more group-oriented, empathetic, and caring. And the signs are that this is working. Research suggests that in later years, children from this school have a greater understanding of gender equality when compared to children from other schools.
You may think they're going up against nature, but one thing, a lot of stuff in biology is mostly just theories. And theory of what today's world is like based on the past, based on today. But a lot of theories about Neanderthals, that even the ancient prehistoric environments humans evolved in, are being disproven thanks to actual evidence. And a lot of nature and epigenetics and brain plasticity. They're not teaching these boys to be girls. If anything, this is what the gender stereotypes is why some people think they're women in men's bodies because they're nice or like some things or compassionate, or some women think they're men in women's bodies. Just be yourself. And my point was, what I was saying earlier, that abstinence only and a lot of those other gender stereotype changing classes, I think they have a lot in common. Trying to go against what previous generations did. Like, oh, our parents were doing it, their parents were doing it. But every class talks about the same thing. Actually, you can change those aspects in sexual behavior in line of thought. Actually, much more easier, even at specific ages, where fetishes and lines become imprinted. The brain grows in spurts, and some ages are a bit more impressionable than others, and it helps to have previous information about what's going to happen, get a heads up. That's what I think they should teach in sex ed, what happened to their brains, and try and intercept, do ahead of puberty. They could think of their hormones and think of coping mechanisms for their breathing exercises, to think ahead and plan ahead. Oh, did you know that when testosterone goes down, Men still can still be creeps. Like alcohol, even known to actually lower its male sex drive from the waist down. It's already, but I guess the sex drive already made a place in your brain pleasure center. So it's not just hormonal level, or else that would be more simple with time, but also in what's imprinted on your brain.
Have a greater understanding of gender equality when compared to children from other schools.
They actually have results behind this. CTFN are actually producing results. No matter what they're saying.
Iceland is also promoting gender equality by encouraging fathers to share the childcare burden with mothers.
Did they have 50-50 custody?
It introduced what is known as a daddy quota, 3 months statutory paternity leave. It's an allowance that goes much further than most other countries in the world. Here, over 70% of fathers take up the full 3 months leave. Why? Because the state covers 80% of a salary during this period, up to a cap of $4,600 a month. One beneficiary of this generous system is Eagle Bjarnason, who is looking after his son Vala. Eagle believes the high cost of the daddy quota to taxpayers is justified because it helps get more women into work.
And it better have a comeback, have a financial return. The mother, the woman better pick up the slack then, or at least be like substitutes. Some slack, how about work off some area of time?
Even in Iceland, men are still paid nearly 6% more than women for similar work.
So to call the taxpayers, how about you pay women to be a substitute, it doesn't work less, and pay them for that less work, just to give like dad a break or something. I mean, how about you get equality and opportunities and you can manage things to individuals than just quotas and trying to force equality and outcomes. Hey, did you know in Venezuela and Mexico they're known for for their corruption of people getting positions because they want to see people in those positions and not for who's qualified? In fact, that's also linked to the downfall of Venezuela. It's that who their president, but in other governments put people who they want in certain positions, not based on qualifications or their time and schedule. I think women can help men to a degree in time or scheduling, work that in. But trying to force equality and outcomes, fuck that, actually messes everything up.
This year, Iceland became the first country in the world to pass legislation not just to expose, but to tackle the gender pay gap. Companies with over 25 employees, like Reykjavik Energy, now have to prove they are paying men and women equally for similar jobs. Every job in the company must be measured against a set of criteria. This produces a score. For jobs with the same score, workers must be paid the same. When Reykjavik Energy used this pay calculator, the inequalities came into sharp and immediate focus.
We noticed that there was a pay gap there between the unskilled workers that were outside and the unskilled workers inside. The outside unskilled workers are mainly men, and the unskilled workers inside, that's cleaning staff, staff in the kitchen, that's mostly women.
So those are two different jobs? Pay the same for two different jobs? One is more deadly or more expensive. One job is much more harder. Your job is much more easier, and the people who get the easiest jobs should be paid the same as the people who have the harder jobs. There are two different jobs, same company with two different jobs.
Workers inside. The outside unskilled workers are mainly men, and outside, that's the cleaning staff.
The easy job, the janitors, taking the easy jobs.
Keep in mind, is gender pay gap. It's not there because there's a couple of evil men making decisions.
It's there because it works.
It's this unconscious bias that we all have.
In what job you're doing.
Traditionally male-dominated jobs.
The company rectified this by raising the wages of its female employees. Critics of the law point out there will be significant financial consequences for companies as they rectify their pay inequalities of its female employees. Critics of the law point out there will be significant financial consequences for companies as by their pay.
Here's what kind of hard they can do. Since you have to pay the least important jobs for the same with the more important jobs, you all just have to do some layoffs. And of course, women aren't oppressed more; they just complain more. So you fire the women who are doing the less important jobs. You have to fire more the men, but they're mostly women who are doing the least important jobs. So you have to fire those men doing the inside jobs to make that all female dominated. And hopefully still have the paid paternity leave. They almost have things good in working with equality and opportunities and individualism, and less on stereotypes and let the chips fall where they may, and teach the kids both ways and what suits them, and let nature or whatever than them, their individual needs take course. They're trying to force like some sort of uniformity in both, not just in positions, but in every individual role and stuff. They're undoing everything they hope to achieve. They need to play their cards right. It's just like the chips already made. How can they test the theory if they have to cheat to get it? Maybe if it's possible, if some women do make it, or do the dream jobs, then good for them. And maybe they might cut off the weaker inside sanitary jobs nearly entirely, and say the women still have the option to do those harder manual jobs, what they'll say no to. Once more hope on the horizon. The MRA's been quite busy since the time of Anita Hill in the Year of the Woman. They actually put a dam in front of Blue Wave. The senators who looked at the evidence, actually not only hold on to every last seat, but gained 2. And plus, 21 out of 36 governor's races. And the black community, the majority of people who know Cosby is innocent, or see the evidence that Cosby is innocent. You can't absolutely know everything about everyone who's just famous, don't know personally. But according to the evidence, shows he's innocent, and they're the base of the Liberal Party. And see the vote demographics with less male suicide dropping, things might balance out. The MRA was not a failure; it's only the beginning.